Alright, so we've arrived at the Pearl Harbor Memorial finally after finding parking, but before we go in, we need to have breakfast. So we were able to hit up Leonard's, and they were crack-a-lackin'. They were super busy, but they make everything to order. So, well, they make the malacetas to order at least. So let's dive in, shall we? I got one of every type, and then I got two of every original type, so to speak. So we shall see. Oh, holy crap. So these are the originals, and then these are one of every filled one. So there's the puffs and then the originals. So let's try. Oh. This is the Lihing. It's salty and sweet. Definitely a local flavor. Don't know how much I'm into it, but it's good. Here, what's that?
Sure. You want a napkin?
Yeah, there. I don't know where I put them, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, just dive in. Yeah, I was about to say. Super light, super fluffy, deliciousness. And then, let's see here, as you're chomping on that, I think, aha. Let's get one of these bad boys. I think this one is the cinnamon one, so we'll see. Oh wow, yeah. It was amazing.
There's a rooster.
There's a rooster outside. Anyways, we're gonna enjoy these delicious ones, and I guess we can touch back base in a moment. Yeah? Alright, cool. Alright, so the idea here is that we are going to go to the Mighty Mo first. We're going to spend any time that we need over there. It is currently 11:22, so I think we're going to take off at 11:30 to go head it up. And then after that we'll hit the Aviation Museum. And then we have to be done with the Aviation Museum by pretty much by 2:15ish at the latest, to make it back by 2:50 in order to hit up our USS Arizona Harbor tour, which we got tickets for. So we will be able to hit up all of them, and then if we have time afterwards, we will buy tickets and go to the boat fin. And so that's the only one on our chopping block if we need to. But beyond that, it's super busy today, and weather's nice even though it was raining this morning. So hopefully we won't be in too much peril as far as rain and whatnot goes, because it was raining pretty crazy this morning. Yeah, pretty tropical, I'd say. So we will check back in once we arrive at the Mighty Mo, actually.
Yep.
Peace.
Oh.
So it's all, so the first thing we're gonna do is the Battleship Missouri Memorial, and after that we'll hit up the Aviation Museum, hopefully. As you can see, the ride here was pretty fun, pretty awesome, and we'll catch up with you later. So we made it on top of the Mighty Mo. Probably gonna wait for a tour since it's pretty close here. But first we're gonna take a look at what we can see on this particular deck. So we're taking a small tour of the USS Missouri right now. It's about a 30-minute walking tour with a guide, and now we're gonna hit up the surrender deck. So let's see how crowded it gets and whatnot. So that was the spot that the Japanese surrendered on here on the Mighty Mo, and now we're gonna see if we can get a brief look at a replica of all the documents that were signed. Let's go see what it's like in a turret. Very cramped. Very cramped. Let's see here. So there's a lot of interesting history for that tour, that little guided tour, and we did actually quite a bit as far as the coverage of the ship goes. So I think that was not only a really well designed tour, so to speak, but also it had a lot of information that I really honestly didn't know, and I honestly don't know if I would know if I looked up any other way. So that was really cool. Definitely worth a visit, and definitely worth going on a guided tour. Obviously there's audio tours and self-guided tours, but this is really cool. I like this. So the stairwell, you have to come down from the main deck that we were just at, that we finished the tour at, and so now we're in, it seems like, the mess hall, and we're gonna walk through a bunch of corridors. So let's start, shall we? There's tons of different things here to see. Their mess hall and their captain's quarters and whatnot, so we'll probably just film a little bit here and there. Just finished watching the video for the USS Arizona, and now we're going to go on to the harbor tour, because the Arizona itself is not able, it's under repair right now. So here we go. So when we started this museum, they gave us like a 5 to 10 minute rundown on what we would see, and then they told us to go to Hangar 79 at the very end of our walk through part of the museum, and then on the way there, an old man in a golf cart offered me a ride, and so that's how this park started. And it is really cool in here. He's telling me all about how, you know, you'll see the bullet holes in the glass from the attack on Pearl Harbor in this hangar, and you'll also see outside, you'll see teardrop holes in the ground from the attack on Pearl Harbor. So it's absolutely incredible here. Definitely worth a visit. This B-17 has a very notable history because it was actually left in a swamp for a very long time. It wasn't until a very rich enthusiast decided to cut it up in pieces and bring it back to California, and then eventually have it shipped back to Hawaii, where it started. I can't remember where it crash landed, but crash landed in a swamp. Because it did so, Disney decided to make some art, and they called it the Swamp Ghost. So we just finished Pearl Harbor. We were able to go to the Pacific Aviation Museum and also the Missouri and the Arizona. So we were able to do those things. We're gonna go back and do the Bowfin later, and now we're looking for dinner at the Ala Moana Mall. So here we are. So there's been a slight change of plans. We're gonna go to the Makai food court instead because the other place closed early. This place is still popping, so let's go get some food. Looks like we are gonna be stuck with whatever is open. Good luck to us. Happy New Year. Alright, so today was our second day here in Hawaii, and it is also New Year's Eve. So we started our day off actually a little late. When we woke up, according to our alarms, it was actually pouring rain, so we decided to sleep in a little bit more. And then, so instead of waking up at 6, we ended up waking up at around 8-ish or so. We got dressed, headed out, and first hit up Leonard's Bakery, where we got some amazing malasadas. That's super good. But a little too many because they had more than I anticipated, but still pretty good. And then we headed straight over to the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center, and we purchased our tickets over in the line over there. And we decided to only go for the Battleship Missouri, the Aviation Museum, and the USS Arizona like tickets, so to speak. The Arizona is free, so you just have to get the tickets as a first come first served basis, but you have to pay to get on the Mighty Mo, and then also to go to the Aviation Museum. So our first thing to do was get the tickets, and so first come first served for the Arizona. And we found out that our ride time would be at 3 o'clock. So we decided to go straight to Mighty Mo. Did that, it was really cool. We got there at 11:45, like to step on the ship. We stepped on the ship just before 12. And it was really cool, like amazingly huge ship. It was really interesting. They had like a mini museum inside there and whatnot. And a lot of different displays of like the different quarters and all the different decks that you can go through, and you can take a picture of the Mighty Mo and the USS Arizona, so like the start and end of World War II, so that was really cool. And then we also were able to go after that. We went to the Arizona, so we had to take the shuttle back to the visitor center because you can't drive onto Ford Island where Mighty Mo is and the Aviation Museum is. And then we were actually able to get onto an earlier showing / boat than our ticket had listed, but it was, you know, it was better for us because we were able to get in early because they had extra space. And so once we were in there, we watched like a 20-minute video or whatnot, and then went straight to the Arizona. Now, you can't get on the Arizona because it's down for repairs. However, they drive around it. They drive a boat around it so you can get all the nice views of it. They have a talking tour guide, so to speak. And so they really show you what they can, and they're able to you know, get near it as much as possible. So after we were done with that, we went back to the dock, and it only took about 15 minutes on the boat ride, so it's pretty easy that way. And then we decided, well, we can only use the tickets the same day we buy them. So we went straight back to the Aviation Museum. We were the only people on the shuttle because it was almost 4 o'clock at that point. So they immediately were like, okay, like, let's bring you over. They stopped by the Mighty Mo first, like they usually do, and then they brought us to the Aviation Museum. And then the guy gave us like a private, like 5 to 10 minute intro video or like presentation about what ships or what planes we're about to see. So it was a really, really interesting museum. Had really, really cool aircraft all over. Went really into how the mechanics worked inside of them and what their significance was per aircraft, so it was really neat. And then they had the really interesting stories behind a lot of these different aircrafts, how they got some of the wreckages, what the significance of each of them were, so that was really cool. And we only had a little more than an hour to do this, and we were worried that it would be wasting a ticket, but actually it was a sufficient amount of time. So we were able to do that. Definitely getting the early ship for the Arizona worked really well for us. And that allowed us to have plenty of time to see the Aviation Museum. And then after that, we went back to the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center, and everything was closed. So then we tried unsuccessfully to get to 2 food courts, but they were both closed at 6, and by the time we were able to reach them, it was like 5:55 or 6 o'clock. So then instead we had dinner at an amazing Korean barbecue place called Mi BBQ. Highly advised on, highly rated on like TripAdvisor and stuff, and it's definitely worth the price over there. It's super delicious. They're kind of slow, but at the same time they have a really small kitchen, so I think is a good speed, good price, really good taste. And then now we're walking through Waikiki, and I saw the Waikiki Beach because we walked through the Westin Hotel. And then now we're chilling at a coffee shop that's closing up here in about 10 minutes or so. But yeah, now we're just waiting for midnight to strike and to see the fireworks over Waikiki. Afterwards, we're gonna get home. We're pretty tired, but we're still gonna try and make it. So yeah, that should wrap it up. There's so much to see today because we went to 2 full museums. So we'll get to show you like all the stuff for those. But yeah, that's pretty much it for day 2. And maybe we'll wrap it up with some fireworks in a little bit. So.
Alright, and now we're back at the Airbnb. It's about 1:30ish in the morning. We saw 2 sets of fireworks, one from the Waikiki the Waikiki Hilton Village, and the other just on Waikiki Beach. They were kind of awesome, and the funny thing is that we saw another set at another beach, like in the distance, because it's from the ocean, so it's dark and you can see the explosions. That was way cooler, but we were already at Waikiki, so it is what it is. We did find some really cheap parking, or inexpensive parking, near the Waikiki Yokocho. That's the new food court that's kind of pricey and expensive that we went to yesterday. But the parking was only $15 for 10 hours, which was incredible because everywhere else was charging $6 an hour with a $50 maximum. So definitely head over and check that out. It's the parking lot that's attached to Ross in Waikiki. So that was totally worth it. But yeah, Happy New Year, and I guess I'll just leave you with the fireworks display that we caught. Alright, and good night. See you in the morning.
Bringing in the new year 2019. Thank you.